What do you think is the main problem that people have in their minds when it comes to the way they've been taught and kind of like how they think about financial education as a whole?
That's Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a story about my two fathers. My poor dad was a school teacher, very smart man. And my rich dad never went to school. And so the information, so starting at the age of 9, growing up in Hawaii, the information was different, the advice was different. So I think most of your viewers out there is sitting inside their head are the words from their mother and father. Go to school, get a job, pay taxes, save money, buy a house because it's an asset, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. That creates poor people. It's a hypnosis train going through your brain. So when people say, how do I change my life? Well, you change those words. I wouldn't go to school because you learn nothing about money in school. So to the young people, I just say challenge or question what you've been taught. Because from the Bible, I'm not religious, the word becomes flesh. So if you say, go to school, and you say, but I learned nothing about money. Get a job, you become an employee.
Yeah.
If you're an employee, you work for money. I pay taxes. Then they tell you to save money. Why would you save money when the government's printing money? And get out of debt. Well, debt is money. I use debt to get rich. Most people use debt to get poor and invest in the stock market. I don't invest in the stock market. So when you wonder why so many people struggle financially, is they haven't challenged the hypnosis, the words. Until you question those hypnotic trances, you don't change. So when I was a little boy, I had poor dad and rich dad, saying, he's saying, go to school. My rich dad goes, what a waste of time that is,
Right.
And the way my rich dad taught me is just playing Monopoly. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. I learned about money. I learned to be a capitalist, not an employee. I don't pay taxes. I use debt for money. And I don't invest in the stock market. And when I say that to adults, they get angry at me. So, well, that's what I've done. I said, well, that's why you're poor. But when I said to young people, you have a chance yet. You have a chance. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying question the hypnotic trance put in your head, because that's what keeps people poor. The economy doesn't exist out here. The economy exists in here.
Yeah.
And until you change the words become flesh. If you get a job, you're an employee. And they say invest in the stock market for your pension. Well, why would you do that? Because that's how they get your money. And get out of debt when guys like me are using debt as money. So question it, that's all I'm saying. So I had to think differently. And that's what I'm challenging the millennials right now is, you have a chance yet. Don't wait till you're an old guy like me to find out my pension is gone. See, right now in America, Wall Street is robbing the pension
funds
of the school teachers, the firefighter, and police officers. So there's going to be millions of people like me, my age, who they got a job, they work hard, they save money, they got out of debt, and they put the money in a pension plan, and it's all gone. You're being screwed. And it starts by going to school. And your parents tell you to go to school. And my rich dad said, what are you going to learn in school? About money. I mean, you can learn to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you learn nothing about money. It's not right or wrong. You see, most people should be employees.
Okay.
Because most people, it's easier to be an employee. Like when I flew for the Marine Corps in Vietnam, and my poor dad wanted me to become an airline pilot. He says, go fly for the airlines. And I said, no, I can do that. I can already fly.
Yeah.
Why would I fly for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
He said, but you love flying. I said, yeah, but I want to fly for the rest of my life. I just wanted a bigger challenge. And a bigger challenge would be to be an entrepreneur, because I'd have to learn new things. I'd have to learn 10 times more than ever than being a pilot. So for me, it was right for me to become an entrepreneur because I was really interested in learning about money and business and economics and all this. But most employees aren't. So for most people who are employees, they should get a job, work hard, save money, pay your taxes and all that. But entrepreneurs don't pay taxes. We don't save money. We use debt as money. And everything's different. And I don't invest in the stock market. But I had to pay the price, which was get my own education, not the stuff they teach you in school. But many people today don't have that choice. You know, if you lose your job, like my poor dad eventually lost his job. And then he realized going to school, getting a job didn't help him, a PhD. He didn't have the skills for the world. He stepped out of the academic world and onto the streets. The cats ate him alive out there. Most school teachers cannot survive in the real world. Not in my world, at least, because they don't have the mental strength, spiritual strength, emotional strength, or the education to sustain the battles of being an entrepreneur. I have international businesses, thousands of employees. A school teacher, they don't have that. They don't want that. Well, not to be commercial about it, but that's why I created the cash flow game.
Yeah.
It's the only game that teaches accounting.
Yeah.
And most people come out of school, they don't even know what accounting is. They say, oh, they taught me to balance a checkbook. I'm going, big deal, You have to know assets and liabilities. You must understand taxes. The rich don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
And the rich use debt as money. So the question is, that's what I had to do when I was in my 20s. I said, how is it the rich learn to use debt as money? That's a challenge. And the brain goes,
because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you got it. And then how do they not pay taxes? And what you'll find out in my new book, Fake, is the combination of debt and taxes. You see, the more debt I use, the less tax I pay.
Right.
It's counterintuitive. The biggest thing for most young people is that our schools teach us to be ICs, independent contractors.
Okay.
Or self-employed, or even if you're an employee, you're still an independent contractor as a job. And you do it by yourself. I think much of the young world is in the selfie world. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Whereas in my world, it's a team sport. I'm a rugby player. And so the average guy is coming out there, like, oh, I got an A, I went to Princeton, I went to Harvard, and corporate America comes out and they go, boom. So that's why when I talk to young people, I say, look, it's a team sport. So the first person I have is a bookkeeper. Bookkeeper is the lowest paid person on my team, but the most important.
Right.
The bookkeeper then keeps the accurate records that my accountant can use, and my attorney can use, and my banker can use. That's the combination there. And my banker, my attorney, and my accountant must work together as a team. Most people, their bankers, accountants, and attorneys don't work together as teams, because in school we're taught to take our tests on our own. If you ask for help, you're cheating. In my world, it's called cooperation. And what I found with most smart people, they don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to ask for help, because in their brains, that's cheating. It means you're stupid. It means you're weak. It means you're stupid. I didn't have that problem because I was stupid in school, so I was asked for help. But the teacher says that's cheating. I come at it as a team. Just think about this, it's like a basketball team, they're playing basketball, but you went to Harvard, you have a master's, a PhD, but you're playing against 5 guys. I don't care how smart you are, those 5 guys will kick your butt. But it's the fake teachers. Why would you listen to a poor person? Why would you listen to a poor person about money? And that was my poor dad. Very good man, PhD, but he always says, go to school, get a job, work hard, pay taxes, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. He's trying to hypnotize me. If you don't get good grades, you won't get a job. And I said, oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, And the teacher would go, nuts. And they go, why don't you want a job? Because I'll pay taxes then. You gotta pay your taxes. I said, until you question, and all the young people just question what's inside that head. Who hypnotized you?